there. I mean, what should these people know about Stephen Short so that they can kind of frame up their questions?
Well, Stephen Short is Senior Vice President, and he's joining us now.
Look at that. Short, I just gave you a quick preview. Stephen Short, welcome on the program, my friend.
Appreciate it, guys. How are you?
Doing wonderful. It's just a typical Saturday night where we do a 4-hour live stream.
That's phenomenal.
So, Stephen, what is your background in soccer, and how did you get your start?
Oh, geez. How it's only 4 hours? Do you have enough beer for this? Yeah. Believe it or not, I always wanted to be in the game. I grew up playing it. Played Division II for a year. Then I realized as a goalkeeper, my future was pretty slim, if anything. So kind of gave that up, went into the operations side, and then kind of worked through some collegiate athletics, but found my way to USL 10 years ago, believe it or not. And then joined the company. I've held a myriad of roles there, from working off our Super Y League finals to helping grow League Two over the years into what it is, running our events, and ultimately launching League One, which is, I think, the pinnacle of everything I've done, which has been pretty exciting.
Being in charge of League One, which you launched wonderfully last year, absolutely great competition. Bringing third division soccer, professional soccer to the U.S. Is just a huge step in the right direction. You, in your 10 years here, or as you said, at USL, you've seen a lot of leagues come and go.
Mm-hmm.
What has been the one thing that has made USL stay and USL want to expand into the third division in the face of a ever-changing soccer environment in the U.S.?
Sure. I think part of it, and I wouldn't say it's holistically the answer, but, if you look at all the stuff we've done over, since our ownership took over in 2009, it really was about helping the clubs be better. And whether that was helping them build stadiums or finding the best turf supplier out there, or even helping them understand executives that are available for hire. So I think that our club-centric model makes a lot of sense. And to the point, if someone needs help, we certainly will reach around the league and find out who's doing it something better than everyone else and try to share that. It's not one versus everyone else. I mean, unless you're on the field, right? It's team v team. But other than that, it's outside of the lines. We really are trying to grow everything together and do it in concert. So I think that sense of community has probably been one of the largest elements of growth for us.
Stephen, we're doing this on YouTube Live, and we're having live comments for questions. Chip Nelson, a Union Omaha diehard fan, has a question for you. He says, Stephen, what are you most excited to experience in Omaha besides the Union Omaha game with our supporter group, Omaha Parliament?
Yeah, it was, sadly, I was supposed to be there today, or for the home opener. But I think when you look at the things Omaha, for years, for me, has always been a college baseball dream too. To go to the CWS, right? So my boys in Tennessee went. My last year at Tennessee, 2-0, but we got a ring, and we've got to celebrate something. I think it's just seeing the club launch and all the work that's gone behind it between Gary Green, Matt Hominoff, Larry, and the ownership group, what they've done behind the scenes to really bring this team to fruition. But honestly, I can't wait to see all the kids in the stands, everybody drinking beer and have a blast. And, what happens on the field happens on the field, but, it's that atmosphere that should be pretty electric. And I won't go to that golf course you were talking about. I don't know the name of it.
Yeah, don't go. It's too hilly, and the fairways are really tight with trees. It's really terrible. One time, sorry, now I'm getting on like teams.
Oh, come play Florida. We don't have hills, man. You're good.
See, actually, my grandfather lives down there, and I love playing Florida golf courses. Love it.
Perfect.
Love it. All right, go ahead, Luke. Sorry, didn't mean to have golf.
Question, Stephen.
Sure.
Is you were going to be here for our home opener,
mm-hmm.
which the whole reason why we're doing this is to raise money for COVID relief, but that whole situation has led us to a different Union Omaha event happening today. Union Omaha is in its first ever USL final. No, we're in that Rocket League final against Tucson. So,
yeah, that's gonna be a tough one.
So why is Union Omaha going to win, and why are they your favorite?
You know, what little I played Rocket League, and I'm horrible at it. I think if there was an equivalent to it, it would go to extra kicks after extended time. You know, it's as neutral of an answer as I can give. I think the trick to beating Tucson is it either a strong defense or just stay on offense the entire time. You've got a lot of goals getting scored on both sides of the ball right now. So I don't know. I can't wait to tune in tonight and check it out.
So, I mean, for USL, I mean, obviously it's kind of with coronavirus, so you can't really foresee a lot of growth in the league. But where do you see the future of USL 5-10 years from now?
Oh, geez, 5-10 years from now,
my favorite question.
I'm sorry?
It's my favorite interview question.
It's like, what are your long-term goals? If 5 to 10 years from now, I think you'll see a different League one that is more or less fully built out with 30-plus clubs across the country, if not more. Maybe, I think what you're leading into is discussion of Pro Rel. We can get into that in a little bit. But, you know, with the way the championship has grown and what League One's learned from that and what we're able to take from that, I mean, I think you're going to see a solid Division II and Division III competing at the highest level domestically, with both leagues on the track to be a top Division II and a top Division III league around the world. You know, and then I'd love to see some type of integration between the leagues, like we're already talking about this interleague cup. I think that gives some fans something to, you know, another thing to brag about, another piece of hardware to earn. But as we build the leagues out, we'll start to close those gaps between each team. So now you may be able to travel more to away games rather than maybe just driving to Wisconsin or North Texas right now, if you want to do that. So certainly we need to close in some of those gaps.
So would you say that you're a fan of a relegation system for USL in the future?
I certainly think there's an opportunity. I'm a little more of a purist. I know we're about 100 years behind Europe when it comes to that, and saw that Mexico's suspending their Pro Rel for a little bit. I think as long as the league grows and it's stable, you know, we have stable clubs that are performing on and off the field really well, I think there's an opportunity for it. But we're going to have tests. My first question was, you know, will we have like the winner of both leagues play each other? I mean, who knows what we'll see in the next 5 to 10 years. So it's going to be exciting. I think everything's on the table, it seems like.
Now, Stephen, with this launch of USL 1 last year, there have been a whole slew of new cities coming in with independent teams, not two teams. What has really impressed you the most with Omaha being a second year, but in that first and second year teams that are just launching from scratch, no previous history there?
What impressed me the most about each city, or just
as the fan base as it's grown?
Oh man, yeah. You know, Josh Keller and I spent a lot of time on the road in the first year. I think it was around 2017. We did about 15,000 miles or something like that, just driving and flying throughout the country. And what excited me is when you got to some of these cities, you had like this electric undercurrent in some of them. You know, where it was like this need that was unfulfilled, so to speak. And we would sit at breweries, we would sit at bars and at restaurants and randomly talk to people. Probably freaked them out at first, but told them who we were, say, hey, we're thinking about doing this. What are your thoughts? And it truly is a groundswell movement. It is not a big brother type element. It is something where the community has the majority of say in what's going to happen, from the name to what the atmosphere is going to be like. So I think what we're able to build is something that with the local communities and the ownership groups and each city is something that truly represents each city these clubs operate in. So, you know, if it's, you know, we always say that, you know, you need to talk to the fans. If you think you're going to build this to a model that you want, you really need to talk to your community first, because they're going to have a lot more say, and you should listen to them. So I think that's probably one of the most exciting things. And I remember all the tweets I was getting from a gentleman in Evansville, Indiana. We still stay in touch. We still tweet every now and then to him, but we're still working on it.
So, I mean, other than Evansville, I mean, there's a couple other cities that might come to mind. What are some other cities that you might be looking into if it's not League One, if it's championship? What are some other cities you're looking to expand?
Sure. I spent all my time on League One, so I can't really speak to the championship when it comes to growth there. But, the interesting thing is even through this COVID-19 pandemic, our expansion efforts haven't slowed down at all. I think our phones are ringing just as much. We're still communicating with groups that are looking to put teams in markets, looking to build stadiums, and that's exciting because you would think that it would kind of be converse, but it's really working out well. One that I've spent a lot of time in, you've probably seen it in the news if you were Googling it at the point, was Lexington, Kentucky. As a native Kentuckian, I think that's pretty exciting to have clubs in Louisville and Lexington. That'd be a great rivalry, but the city's young. They do a lot on the side of tourism with food tourism with the Bourbon Trail and horse racing certainly be a big component there. And so I think that's an exciting city. We're doing a lot in the Southeast and the Midwest right now, but you'll start to see our footprint, grow throughout the rest of the country in the coming years. So if I threw a dart at one today, it'd be different tomorrow, but I'd tell you that it's going to be an exciting time to see the new clubs coming into the league.
I got to ask one specific one.
Sure.
As a person born and raised in Portland, Maine, I saw they had a great article in the local paper there a few months ago saying that they were going to be there, and I'm looking for that surf and turf derby. No,
I think that sounds phenomenal. I don't mind. I love going to visit Portland. I think I've been there 3 or 4 times, and it's really neat to see how these conversations organically grow. From my first contact in the city was with the sports commission director, and we went up and visited on a tour in the Northeast and New England, and it just kind of took legs. And we went up and we started looking at stadium sites. We've met with potential ownership groups, and I think that could be something truly special as well.
Our producer Pat just texted me, and he wants to ask a question so I'll ask for him. And I agree, this is a great question. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
What is your favorite all-time halftime entertainment that you've seen? That is, I'm going to be honest with you, I've been in the business of asking questions for a long time. That is one of the best questions I've ever had the privilege of asking.
Is it soccer specific, or can it be any sport? Okay.
Sports.
Well, I would tell you the one I've seen at USL that's been one of the most interesting for me, Sacramento in their first year, or actually when they were named Bonnie Field. They had a 20-yard chip into a big inflatable toilet. That was pretty creative. Bonnie was a plumbing company, so it all made sense. When I worked at the University of Tennessee, we had this guy that had like a 50-yard stick that went, literally, it was unbelievable. And he would spin a basketball on it, and people would just go nuts for this thing and drop like one end of the court to the other. You have to look it up on YouTube. And then there's a lady called, I don't think any soccer teams have done it. She's called the Red Panda.
Yes, I've seen the Red Panda. I've seen the Red Panda at a Husker basketball game. She's
never
amazing.
seen it in person, but I'm mesmerized. And my friends at the UT athletic department in Tennessee, we still talk about that to this day. We just have to figure out how to put her on turf or grass.
I don't know how you could do that.
We could find some like plastic stuff to cover the field, like when they do concerts and stuff like that. You just have to find a way to put it down and get it up within 15 minutes. But we could figure that out.
I'm sure we could. I mean, we have a retractable mound. I mean, what the heck? Why can't we have a retractable? If you don't,
what about yours though? I mean, what's the best one you've seen, or what would you like to see at the halftime of a Union Omaha match? Like, what would be?
That's not your job. You can't ask me questions. What the heck? That's not how this works.
Well, I disagree. I think it's important. Yeah.
Luke, do you have one? Let me think real quick. I'm trying to think back to I went to Nebraska, and so most of my thoughts go straight to basketball games. I saw a guy who took a 20-foot ladder, okay, and he would climb up his whole trick was doing the ladder, and he would just climb up and climb down and do tricks on the ladder, and it was just that was it. That was probably pretty cool.
I'm going to throw it out there. Not something I was involved in, but my brother won a trip to Disney World off of, they call it Scoro, like tiny little hole, like put a board over a hockey goal.
Oh yeah.
Try and shoot it in from and he got it in at like 6 years old. And so I'm going to go to Disney World. I'm okay with
awesome.
it.
Yeah, you could do those. I think you guys could have a tradition. I don't know how any animal rights group would look at this, but I think if Auburn has the eagle that flies in, you could have if you ever had like your own owl that flew in, that'd be kind of cool. But I mean, I'd leave that up to the team. That's not up for us to figure out.
Rumor has it Gary was looking at owls.
Yeah.
But most of them he was pretty much told they're not easily tamed, and if you can, there's still no guarantee they won't fly off with a small turtle. So we may be
story. Yeah.
So
the sky's the limit when it comes to that.
So Stephen, I mean, we just got off the phone with Gary. We just got done interviewing Gary Green, and we're talking about the season start for USL 1. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, what do you foresee for the season start? What are you thinking? What does it look like so far?
Yeah, and I'm not sure what Gary shared. I'll have to go back and watch it, but it's certainly an intent. Our clubs want to play games, and it's important for them, and it's important for the communities. But I mean, the guiding light for us right now has to be the health and safety of the communities, the players, and the fans. I mean, and I think every sports league will tell you that we're all working together to figure it out. I would tell you that we're working on it, and with everyone, and I think we're all working from the same data set. All the leagues in this country, it's really neat to see actually that, our team is on calls with MLS and NWSL and US Soccer and the NHL, and we have contacts at the NBA and MLB and MILB. So it's really kind of brought all these leagues together in a really cool fashion. And so we're all sharing best practices, trying to figure out what's good for everyone and how can we get everyone back. And, I think we've done a good job at USL being pretty transparent. And always trying to be transparent about our processes and communicating with everyone. We'll continue to do that.
So, Stephen, this is going to be our last question, just that way we can keep going with all the player content we have going.
Sure.
What is USL doing to develop a COVID vaccine so we can be playing by July?
Are you coming up with that? Are you the lead guy on that?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, I mean, a COVID vaccine. I think if USL were to develop the COVID vaccine, it just gives us another chance to be a global leader in something. Why not? It'd be a great tagline, right? It's interesting. We're here in Florida, and obviously it's nice outside, but everybody's having to stay inside as best as they can, and it's tough. And we recognize that. And honestly, I look forward to the opportunity today that we can say thanks to our fans for supporting the league and the clubs through this. We know it's not easy. We know everyone is yearning to watch live sports. Probably why the NFL draft figures are through the roof right now.
I'm watching it right now.
But there you go. But we're working on it, and I think as a league and as clubs that represents their cities, I mean, look what Union Omaha is doing. I mean, obviously putting the attention and the effort into supporting those that are fighting on the front line. It's unbelievable.
All right, this is actually the last question. We have a fan. I swear this is the last question. Last question.
Keep going. Whatever you want to do, it's fine.
Yeah,
except
right.
Tell my wife. We'll be good.
Well, it's my dinner time, so I gotta get going too. All right. So John Ryan asked, "Is travel during a condensed schedule a concern, specifically costs?"
Is travel during? Let me make sure I understand it. Is travel during a condensed schedule a concern?
Right. Specifically, the cost.
Well, we always looking for ways to reduce costs, and travel is one of those items that, if someone says it's not important, it's still a pretty big line item, still in the championship, believe it or not. And so, a condensed schedule, if it's still the same type of travel, it is what it is. I mean, we're always going to try and find ways, and working with our travel partners, whether it's to work better hotel deals or save money on flights if it's changing names of players and things like that. So our operations team is pretty phenomenal at that. I think for us, if it's a condensed schedule, we want everyone to come out and come out and support it. And will your calendars be free enough to make sure you get as many games as possible?
Right. Yeah. Well, hey, Stephen, thank you so much for coming on, explaining some stuff that's going on in USL 1. Can't wait. Let's have you back on soon. We love having you on.
Let's do it. And if it's in Omaha, let's grab a beer.
Let's grab a beer and let's play some golf. Bring your sticks.
Yeah. I'll do what I can. I might have to, we'll figure that out.